Buenos dias, salam alaikum, and welcome back to Cito. Berachain is here, the fake chain is live. Handle Bera's $10.28 with a fully diluted valuation of 5.4 billion, which in my view is a bit surprising, to be honest. I thought that the hype would push it at least above the 10 billion FDV mark. It went a bit higher than that. It actually went to roughly $15.50 here on Binance was the highest as I'm recording this video, but this thing literally just launched an hour, 2 hours ago, and is extremely volatile, fresh off the press. With the Mainnet launch in TGE, the Bera Foundation also shared this announcement video here, which is 3 minutes long and just gives a bit of context of where they're coming from, because they originally started off as an NFT collection, which also makes you eligible for the Bera Airdrop, which is obviously the hottest topic right now. The Berachain Airdrop, I think around 80 million Bera tokens are being airdropped. And in the first round, which is, you can already check your allocation. We share this also here from the Stakecito account, that you can connect your socials, your Twitter and Discord. Also check your wallet address, and then you'll see how many Bera tokens you are eligible for. Important to note here is that claiming for NFT wallets, NFT eligible wallets, is happening today, February 6th. But the social and RFB claiming begins on Monday, February 10th, just so you know when your airdrop will become claimable. And yeah, I think we're not only going to see the Berachain airdrop itself, that will probably be a juicy one. I think a lot of Twitter accounts got a couple hundreds of Bera tokens. I think I got around 600 or 700 as well. So yeah, that at the current price of around $10 is like $6,000, right? So that's not a bad airdrop. But then we're also seeing ecosystem airdrops for the Berachain ecosystem. One of them being Henlo. We already talked about how you should claim your points and keep track of that. Now there's also a dedicated airdrop checker. And I think the airdrop for Henlo will be claimable as well. But as I said yesterday, be very, very cautious, right? Everything that has Bera in its name, Bera ecosystem project, airdrop this, airdrop that, because all these sites look very degen. Berachain itself is very degen, right? From the branding and very memeable and all these kind of things. Do not throw your standards out of the window to connect your wallet to, right? Because it's very, very sensitive. And there's now a lot of impersonators, a lot of scammers that just want you to connect your wallet to a malicious site, and gone are your tokens. So be very, very careful. Join a community like Cito Plus. That's the one that I can obviously recommend you. It is a premium community that you will be in touch with other members, and you can verify with other community members about the legitimacy of those links before you connect your wallet. Now, there's also an Explorer that's now live for Berachain, and you can see some on-chain stats, right? The block time is roughly 2 seconds right now. Some other information there, and also the validator set. And we are very proud with Stakecito to be one of the 40, there's only 40 Genesis validators for Berachain. And considering the dual token model with Bera and BGT, it is probably a little bit new for sure, but also confusing for some on how this thing actually works, because eventually as a retail delegator, you'll be able to delegate your BGT tokens to a validator, which is basically called a boost, and through that we'll also have increased power, so to speak, to direct Berachain liquidity to applications. So there's this very, very close and strong dynamic between the community, validators, and applications, right? And it's all around liquidity. That's why proof of liquidity is so interesting, because it just changes the flywheel and also the dynamic between those parties, right? It's a lot more in sync. But how exactly that will work, also if the incentives are going to play a major role in that, the boost APY, those are all things that we'll see in the coming days. Now, moving over to macro news, we have a lot of exciting news in the past 24 hours, one of which being that Elon Musk suggests moving the US Treasury to blockchain for increased transparency in government spending, which is very, very interesting. And a question that Coinbase asked here is, which blockchain could be used? And Gregor Zuri, as an OG cosmonaut, one of the first ones to building Cosmos, said Cosmos SDK, and that deserves a like. Go like this post, because the Cosmos SDK eventually is the best stack to build on, right? And I think that sooner or later chains will build on the Cosmos stack, or in some way, shape, or form connect to IBC. We also have Movement Labs in the race, which I think is interesting, even though it's very, very new. But number one, it deploys the Move VM, which is the original code base that Facebook developed, which had this blockchain project called Libra, which then rebranded to Diem, and then eventually they had to shut it down. And out of that came Sui and Aptos. And now we have a third contender that deploys the Move VM, which is called Movement Labs. And Move founder Rushi Manche was now also appointed as an advisor to the Thailand International Digital Business and Finance Center. He's basically advising the Thai government now. And we also know that Trump's World Liberty Finance Project bought $4 million in Move tokens recently. So yeah, and people are saying now, I don't know much about it, but I know that they're US based, coming from the San Francisco Bay Area, and Trump bought it. And interesting enough, they're currently at a similar valuation than Berachain. In fact, Move had a much higher valuation when they went to $1, I think 45 was the peak. So that implies a $14.5 billion FTV, which is higher than Berachain. But yeah, Movement, Bera, those are the new kids on the block. Both of them are not built on a Cosmos SDK, even though they have close ties to builders in Cosmos. I also did interviews. Smokey was on my YouTube channel December 2023. We did a lot of Berachain coverage since the early days when they were still planning to build in Cosmos entirely, but then they went on to build out their entire code base. Back then it was called Polaris, now it's called Beacon Kit, and went through many iterations. But both Movement and Berachain are going to connect to IBC via Union. Union is one that you also should have on your watch list for sure. And they also have a point system right now where you can collect points by engaging and interacting with, with testnet, with socials, and all these kind of things. Anyways, sticking around macro, we also have the FDIC that is revising its guidelines to allow banks to engage in crypto activities, which is yet another indicator that we're going to see more and more inflows and facilitated institutional on-ramps for crypto in 2025 from the US, leading from the US. And I think once this is all said and done, once we also hear the CryptoZars David Zacks strategy on, the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve and the newly announced Sovereign Wealth Fund, which is all happening in the next 3 months, and the plan from David Sachs is coming, I think, in the next 6 months. So I think within the next 6 months, we're going to hear a concrete plan from the US about establishing a Bitcoin reserve. Then major news from Michael Saylor. He's now rebranding to Strategy B. So no more MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy is dead. It's now Strategy B, which obviously is showing his commitment and doubling down all in basically on Bitcoin with his company, which is a huge bet, but it could actually go down as one of the biggest bets and returns in history, right? So yeah, they do have this looped system where they can basically buy Bitcoin over and over again, billions and billions of dollars, which they have continued to do. I think there's some sort of liquidation price for MicroStrategy, but so far so good. But yeah, I guess the biggest danger here for MicroStrategy is that they were to become too greedy, I would say, or too addicted to stacking sats, and that they could eventually burn their hands with that. But so far so good. MicroStrategy definitely responsible for onboarding billions and billions, tens of billions into crypto, and I think it's one of the leading Bitcoin companies out there. Now, looking into the Cosmos ecosystem price movements today, Mantra keeps doing its own thing while everything is down, even double digits down. Axelar, Zeta Chain. Another ugly day, TIA $2.84, which is insane. Atom $4.43, but Mantra just does its own thing. And Mantra is also gearing up for the next phase in which they're opening up their validator set. So they launched their Cosmos chain in late October at Cosmos 2024 Dubai. Now they are opening up their validator set, which is currently run mostly by the foundation. But you can always see some familiar validators in here. And you probably see a very familiar one here in the inactive set still, but that's Stakecito. We're also now scratching at the active validator set for Mantra. Next step is going to be to expand the validator set so that Stakecito and a couple of other validators will be able to join. So that's that. And March 18 is a date that you should write down on your calendars, because that's when you get 10% of your airdrop finally. So that's, just a couple of weeks away. And I think when the airdrop was first announced, it was just a couple $1 million in airdrop allocation. Now it's like $250, $300 million almost. So the airdrop keeps growing and growing while the rest of the market keeps going down. If you prefer reading over listening or watching, then you definitely have to subscribe to our Cito Zone newsletter on our website, but also follow us on Twitter, Cito Zone. And there we publish the Cosmos Bytes. Already episode 9 is out, which is a TLDR on the hottest and latest news in the entire Cosmos ecosystem, of which we also count Bera in. And Story Protocol, which is a full-on Cosmos chain, Initia as well, that is about to launch, Nillion, and many, many more. So check that out. Also, shout out to the Cosmos account for quoting us. And speaking about Union, which is making more and more integrations and partnerships left and right. They also just announced a partnership with Babylon that is also one of the most highly anticipated launches, dominating the entire Bitcoin staking category, fully made in Cosmos, full on Cosmos SDK blockchain. And they have partnered now. Emir wrote a full-on article around that, and they will also soon have missions that you can collect XP points basically on Union to interacting with Babylon chain as well. So that's good to see more connections there. Then one of the most underrated narratives and verticals for 2025 and 2026, which is probably a mid-curve narrative at this point, considering that memes, celebrity coins, all these like AI agent memes and all this kind of stuff would be left curve stuff. I consider privacy, interoperability, modularity, right? All these kind of things. I would consider mid-curve stuff at this point. And there's not many mid-curve content creators like myself out there. They all kind of went on to chase the next shiny vertical, I guess, and hype category. But yeah, here on Cryptocito, we stick to the principles of the Epstein thesis, interoperability, sovereignty, and privacy is also one of the big things. And Chris Berniski is saying that private stablecoin transactions will unlock a new net level in the game. Just watch. And we see Aleph Zero, that is also one of our media partners here, commenting Game On, sir. And it's not only Aleph Zero, there's also a couple of others, right? Also Carter, one of the OGs in Cosmos, founder of Shade Protocol, that is built on a secret network, right? We also have Penumbra, and there's a lot of projects that are in that field, right? And I think it makes sense to position yourself in that vertical because eventually there is going to be a privacy season. That's my belief. Privacy 2.0 with a lot more functionality, a lot smoother UX, UI. I think that has always been the issue for privacy. The UX is just very, very hard, and people are getting lost, and they don't value privacy as much for the trade-offs that come on the UX side of things. But Aleph Zero, they just released a new roadmap for 2025, and their key areas of focus as an interchain privacy project, basically, which I love this term, right? Interchain fully fits with the Cosmos philosophy and privacy as their core vertical that they're focused on. But yeah, they're also building out their entire ecosystem with their ZK-OS engine, their own Shielder SDK. They also built their own DEX called Common, which also now has its own token that will partially also be airdropped. I think 20% of the supply will be airdropped. So Aleph Zero is definitely one of the strongest contender in the privacy field. Then we have also Penumbra that is fully Cosmos based. So Aleph Zero is a substrate chain that eventually also will connect to IBC. Penumbra is a Cosmos SDK build equivalent that just also unveiled Veil, which is their privacy DEX as well. And there you can also potentially earn points by trading and just engaging with the DEX. Eventually, this will accrue points and be converted into an airdrop. But I don't have official confirmation. It's just my guess here. Then we, of course, we have a Namada, which is also a strong contender in the privacy field, made in Cosmos entirely. They already went on Mainnet and are currently in phase 2 of their Mainnet rollout, phase 2 of 5. Phase 5 being the interoperability and IBC enabling for the NUM token, which you can already stake. You can stake your airdrop. You can stake with Stakecito, much appreciated, of course. But yeah, currently NUM does not have a price and is not tradable yet. But Cito Plus members and viewers here on CryptoCito will obviously be first to hear when that happens. Then also another one, it is not Cosmos SDK built, but that is Aleo. And Aleo is probably one of the least talked about projects out there, but they also focus heavily on ZK technology and privacy. And I think overall, CK privacy and CK also for other purposes like interoperability and scalability is going to be very interesting, right? Also, Union bets heavily on ZK technology. Same for all the projects I just mentioned, like Penumbra and also Aleph Zero. But yeah, ZK infrastructure projects, definitely one category for you to watch out for. Then we also have some news from Noble, the native asset issuance chain made in Cosmos, home to USDC with 500 million plus already issued on its chain. They just had a big update or upgrade, a chain upgrade on their testnet, which introduced Noble Dollar, USDN, which is going to be a yield-bearing stablecoin native to Noble Chain in collaboration with M0 Foundation and Wormhole. So that is big upgrades and also gearing up for Noble's native stablecoin launch. We will keep you posted because there's a lot of big upgrades coming for Noble in the coming weeks and months. But yeah, we'll keep you posted here in real time as those upgrades are coming out. But I think, yeah, Noble is definitely one project to watch out very, very closely for in the next few weeks and months. Another one that is an OG Cosmos project, we already mentioned Greg Ozuri, the founder of it, but Akash Network hit another record high of $722,000 of revenue, on-chain revenue in Q4 2024, which for a non-finance related use case is very, very impressive. Strong product market fit, something you barely see in all of crypto, and Akash Network is just one of the best examples. A new chain has also arrived, not only Berachain today, but also Side Protocol, that is a Bitcoin-aligned project, is now on Mainnet as well. So you can check out your airdrop and your staking APR, which is currently at 26%. If you wish to stake your airdrop amount, or just if you hold a side back, you can stake. You can definitely stake with Stakecito. We're actually currently ranked 2 on the validator list. And yeah, cite another chain that is in Cosmos, made in Cosmos, and aligned with the Bitcoin ecosystem. Lava Network is also another infrastructure project that is also not really talked about that much, but very strong fundamentals, strong team, been around forever, it's generating revenue, has decent integrations left and right, not only in Cosmos, but itself is the Cosmos chain, right? And they also are going to, I guess, launch their own NFT collection, which are foxes, so those foxes, and I think soon they will have a whitelist for that. So Lava Foxes are the Genesis NFT collection for Lava. And if you are a community member, league program participant, staker, restaker, or partner, and supportive NFT communities, which probably could mean, slot holders, bad kids, whatnot, then you are going to be eligible to mint that NFT. And again, on Cito Plus and here on CryptoCito, we're going to keep you posted. On Cito Plus is obviously more faster because that platform is on 24/7. There's a Discord to it. We can push out newsletter notifications to your email straight away. And we have Sepmas, who is leading that project. So he's full-time committed to Cito Plus. Speaking of Cito Plus, this is a project under the Cito Zone umbrella, which is the neutral media brand of which CryptoCito and this channel is also part of. But with Cito Zone, we also applied for the Say Creators Program. And if you're holding Say tokens, then you can vote for us here on-chain on Gitcoin. Much, much appreciated. And on the Cito Zone itself, we're also going to restructure a lot. One of the items on the list is going to bring Cito Plus onto Cito Zone. So you will be able to access all Cito Plus features eventually straight from our website. We'll also be integrating Cito Ventures, Cito Earn, which is a way for you to also earn money for creating content, and also Cito Español, which is the Spanish Cito channel on YouTube run by Moises, my team member. He's full-time dedicated to growing the Spanish and Latino audience. He's from Venezuela, and always good to grow the LATAM audience because eventually I'm a big believer in that whole region, right? And I lived there myself for over a year in Colombia, so strong believer in that. Check out the website, subscribe to our newsletter. There's going to be a lot more alpha in the coming weeks. Also working on more and more media partners for the Cito Zone, and overall concentrating, refining, and preparing for the 2025 bull run, which in my view is going to come. Anyways, that's all for today. As I'm recording this video, the bear price dumped below $10. So let me know if those are levels that you're scooping. Below $10 means below $5 billion FTV, which I personally think is not actually a bad entry point. But yeah, we also have to see how Berachain can deliver upon its promises for its vast ecosystem and maintain the billions and billions in liquidity that they have and hundreds of applications. So yeah, we'll see. Time will tell. Let me know what your price targets are. I think, again, below $10 is quite appealing. And eventually, with the rise of the bull run, Bera, I think, can easily enter the top 20 on CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko. And that would probably imply at some point also a double-digit billion-dollar FTV. So $10-20 billion plus, I think, given around the cult around the project, the community, and all these kind of things, could definitely be achievable. But yeah, let me know what you think. I'll see you very soon here on CryptoCito. Until then, stay safe and be good.